According to creditcards.com, 47% of Americans are in debt. And according to me, 100% of them don't like it. Well, I don't actually know if that is particularly true, that 100% of them don't like it, but I do know for a fact that my husband and I did not like it. We hated it. We were over it. Being in debt, the amount of debt that we were in was just too much. And so we decided that we wanted to do something about it. We implemented 9 major changes into our everyday life to be able to begin tackling our, wait for it, $73,000 debt. We started our debt-free journey in September of 2019 and were able to pay off within 9 months approximately $23,000 of that debt. And we did that by implementing these 9 major changes to our everyday spending habits and our everyday life. If you're interested in working toward debt freedom and wealth building, be sure to subscribe to my channel where I will be posting videos to help you with some of those goals. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below and stick around if you would like to see how many of these 9 changes that we made to our habits and spending are viable for you to make in your lifestyle. The number 1 change that we made was to set up a strict budget to zero budget. So basically, with a budget to zero budget, also known as a zero-based budget, we tell our money, every single cent and every single dollar of our money, what it will do for the rest of the month. Honestly, most of the needless, reckless spending was on my behalf more so than on my husband. He's not one to spend too much on random things. I am. And my excuse, as I tell him, is I like to keep the house pretty. And so that's my excuse for, going on a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's binge. But those were things that I also noticed I was spending too much money on monthly. Going to TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, and all that good stuff. So I decided, you know what? Are you comfortable in your house regardless of what it looks like? Yes, as long as it's mostly clean. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to stop purchasing items for the house, for decor, because that was where a lot of my money was going. So the zero-based budget really helped to make sure that we saw line by line where it is that our money was going. And the zero-based budget also made sure that we were sending money directly only to the things that we really needed to be spending money on. The second really important thing that we did was we saved up an emergency fund of $1,000. Now, an emergency fund of $1,000 might not be enough for some families. It definitely depends on where it is that you live and what your everyday spending situation is like. For us, a $1,000 emergency fund worked. That really helped with making sure that we weren't using our credit cards because we ran out of money by the end of the month. If we needed, we would get money from that $1,000 emergency fund instead of using our credit card. The third major change that we implemented is that we stopped using our credit cards completely. We were the kind of people that would use our credit cards daily, weekly. Even if we had cash, sometimes we would use our credit card. I'm not sure why we did that. I have some ideas. I can go into that. That's a whole nother video. But we decided, you know what? We're not going to be able to pay off our debt if all we're doing is turning around and using those cards again, which is what we were doing for many months. And we decided we can't be doing that anymore. So we shredded our cards. My husband only had, I think, 1 credit card. I had a neat little stack. I am ashamed to say, but it is a truth. So I brought my little stack out, which I always kept in my desk, and I started shredding them all. It was, let me tell you, a moment. I sat on the floor next to the shredder and I started to just throw one by one in there. It's one of those shredders that has a special credit card slot. So I'm not going to go into more details of how ridiculously, but how honestly emotional that was for me. I'll save that for another video. The fourth thing that we did to pay off $23,000 of debt in 9 months was to use the debt snowball method to pay off our debt. The debt snowball method is awesome. I absolutely love it. And I think it is because of the debt snowball method that I realized I can do this. I can actually pay off my debt. The debt snowball method is a really nice, very beautiful plan in which you set up all of your debt in order from the lowest debt that you have to the highest, and then you start paying off aggressively the smallest balance that you owe. And you pay the minimum payment to that and the minimum to everything as usual. And then any extra money that you can come up with from side gigs or from cutting different things out of your budget that you don't need, all that money would go to the smallest debt, right? So then once you're done paying off that smallest debt, you go on to pay the next debt that's in line. And so to that debt you throw its usual minimum, the minimum that you used to throw to the balance that you paid off, plus any of the extra money that you can squeeze throughout the month after you've made your budget. And so then you basically go through the rest of your balances, rolling over the minimum payments of all of the debts that you have paid off already. And it's like a snowball. As you roll the snowball across the snowball keeps getting bigger. It's genius. So simple. It's so genius, yet so overlooked. Use the debt snowball method if you are in a similar situation. I swear by it. The fifth major change that we did to our everyday life is that we stopped ordering in from restaurants or going out to restaurants. We realized that we would go out to restaurants every week, 3-4 times a week. That's just way too much. It's unnecessary. And so every time we go out, we'd spend from $20 to $25 to $30 depending on where we would go. So that could be upwards of $80 to $100 a week just on food that someone else is preparing for you. Yes, I was tired many times. I didn't want to cook, neither did my husband. But at the end of the day, if you prepare your food ahead of time, maybe you can just have reheat or meal prep. There's different things that you can do to not have to go out and spend money at restaurants. Going to restaurants is fine. It's not like we stopped completely, but we basically didn't go 3-4 times a week anymore. The sixth thing that we implemented is we started using a cash envelope system. The cash envelope system is fantastic because basically what you do with that is you don't use your debit card. You take out cash from the ATM, depending on which envelope you're filling, and you put in the cash into each envelope. This envelope is for restaurants, and we put $100 there for the whole month. This envelope is for gas, and we put $80 in there for the whole month. So once you have all of the cash in its respective envelope, you are able to really see how much money you have left to spend on anything, as opposed to just kind of swiping your debit card and not knowing how much you have left, unless you're checking every day, which some people do, but I didn't always do that. So next thing I know, toward the middle or end of the month, I would check my debit card balance and it would be, whoa, I don't have that much money, if any, left for the month. So now I'm gonna have to use my credit card, and then it just gets sloppy. So with the cash envelope system, it helps to avoid those kinds of situations. The seventh major change that we made to our everyday spending habits was we stopped buying non-essential items. And this mostly falls on me. So I stopped buying decor items, plants. I stopped buying clothes, shoes. I stopped going out to the stores for fun as much. Now, if I wanted to do something fun, I had to look for some other thing to do other than go walk around at the store, window shop. Window shopping always ends up in actually shopping, and that was hurting my pocket. So we stopped purchasing anything that we didn't absolutely need. And by we, I mean me, because I'm the big spender. But I've changed my ways. The eighth thing that we did is we cut back on social gatherings. We did not go live under a rock, but we stopped having as many people over. So anyone that knows me knows that I love having people over for any excuse. Valentine's Day party, Galentine's Day party, Halloween party, obviously my birthday, my husband's birthday, International Women's Day. I did a thing for that once. It was really fun. Any excuse that I could find to have a gathering, small or large, I took it because it's fun. But the reality is that you don't need to have gatherings that often, Nayeli. So, and we would always budget those in every month, even before we started getting serious about this. And every month there was something that I had to set aside $150, $200, $250, depending on what the celebration was. So we stopped doing that. And it's fine. It's not like my friends were my friends just because I was inviting them to a party or to a little gathering. My friends are awesome. My friends love me regardless. The ninth thing that we did is we cut back on Thanksgiving and Christmas 2019. So for Thanksgiving, I usually tend to make a lot of food, a lot of sides, sometimes even 2 turkeys. And the reality is that we didn't need to make so much food for 4 people. One 23-pound turkey and 4 sides is enough. There was no need for us to do so much more like we had done in previous years. So for Thanksgiving 2019, we made a turkey that I won in a raffle from a local pharmacy. That saved me like 30 bucks. And then we made some basic, delicious, tasty sides. I happen to be a pretty decent cook. Some might say wonderful cook. And so the basic sides that I made were actually pretty delicious. For Thanksgiving, we got together with my mom and my sister, which is who we usually spend Christmas with, before heading out to my in-laws' house. And we said, okay, what we're gonna do this year is Secret Santa, where everyone picks out one person's name. So instead of each person buying one gift for each person bought one gift for one person, right? And so that was perfectly fine. Nobody had a problem with that gifting situation. We just enjoy getting together on Christmas, hanging out, laughing, watching movies. Also, and this is actually a big one, I didn't get a Christmas tree this year, which was always such an emotional thing for me to get a Christmas tree, for details that I will not get into. But getting a Christmas tree, a real one, is always very important for me. I don't like fake plants at all, and I don't like fake Christmas trees either. So I would always get a real one, and I would like to get a tall one. So usually our Christmas tree would cost $80 to $120. And so I decided no Christmas tree. So those are the 9 changes that we made that helped us pay off $23,000 of debt in 9 months. Some of them might not be a big deal to some people, and some of them might be. Some of them might not fit in an individual's lifestyle, and some of them might. Just like I'm sure you do when you watch any personal finance video, pick and choose the components and the habits and behaviors and suggestions that fit your lifestyle best. The thing that is going to help you pay off your debt sooner is going to be some strategy, tool, skill that most comfortably fits your lifestyle. If you're doing things that are way too uncomfortable and that you absolutely hate doing on a weekly, monthly basis to change your spending habits, then you're not going to get too far because you hate it, and you're not going to want to continue implementing those habits. So you have to make sure that they are habits that are comfortable and doable for you. So now that I've shown you how we were able to pay off $23,000 of debt in 9 months, make sure that you subscribe, click the like button, click on that notification bell so that you know when I upload another video talking about financial literacy and personal finance. Thank you so much for sticking around. Have a nice day.